Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Jump lightly. Twining perennials having cordate leaves and flowers arranged in cone-like spikes. The dried flowers of this plant are used in brewing to add the characteristic bitter taste to beer. An informal dance where popular music is played. Jump across. He hopped the bush. Make a jump forward or upward. Move quickly from one place to another. The act of hopping, jumping upward or forward, especially on one foot. Travel by means of an aircraft, bus, etc. She hopped a train to Chicago. Traverse as if by a short airplane trip. Jump lightly. Jump lightly. Bypass. He skipped a row in the text and so the sentence was incomprehensible. A mistake resulting from neglect. Bound off one point after another. Leave suddenly. Skip town. Cause to skip over a surface. Intentionally fail to attend. A gait in which steps and hops alternate. Twining perennials having cordate leaves and flowers arranged in cone-like spikes. The dried flowers of this plant are used in brewing to add the characteristic bitter taste to beer. An informal dance where popular music is played. Get up on the back of. The elasticity of something that can be stretched and returns to its original length. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Spring back. Spring away from an impact. A natural flow of groundwater. Develop into a distinctive entity. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The season of growth. The emerging buds were a sure sign of spring. A metal elastic device that returns to its shape or position when pushed or pulled or pressed. The spring was broken. A point at which water issues forth. Develop suddenly. Produce or disclose suddenly or unexpectedly. Form the boundary of, be contiguous to. Bound by contract. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Spring back. Spring away from an impact. Covered or wrapped with a bandage. An injury bound in fresh gauze. The greatest possible degree of something. What he did was beyond the bounds of acceptable behavior. Usually followed by to, governed by fate. Bound to happen. Headed or intending to head in a certain direction, often used as a combining form as in college-bound students. Children bound for school. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The horse bounded across the meadow. A line determining the limits of an area. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something. Bound by an oath. A bound official. Confined by bonds. Bound and gagged hostages. Confined in the bowels. He is bound in the belly. Held with another element, substance or material in chemical or physical union. Secured with a cover or binding, often used as a combining form. Bound volumes. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Cause to jump or leap. Pass abruptly from one state or topic to another. Leap into fame. A sudden and decisive increase. An abrupt transition. A successful leap from college to the major leagues. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The child leapt across the puddle. Jump down from an elevated point. The widow leapt into the funeral pyre. The distance leapt, or to be leapt. A leap of 10 feet. Bypass. Descent with a parachute. Cause to jump or leap. The trainer jumped the tiger through the hoop. Pass abruptly from one state or topic to another. Jump to a conclusion. Rise in rank or status. Her new novel jumped high on the bestseller list. Run off or leave the rails. A sudden involuntary movement. Go back and forth. Swing back and forth between two states or conditions. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. A sudden and decisive increase. A jump in attendance. An abrupt transition. Start. A car engine whose battery is dead, by connecting it to another car's battery. Move forward by leaps and bounds. Can you jump over the fence? Jump from an airplane and descend with a parachute. Be highly noticeable. The act of jumping, propelling yourself off the ground. He advanced in a series of jumps. Jump down from an elevated point. The parachutist didn't want to jump. Enter eagerly into. He jumped into the game. Film. An abrupt transition from one scene to another. Increase suddenly and significantly. Prices jumped overnight. Make a sudden physical attack on. The muggers jumped the woman in the fur coat. A plant with a weak stem that derives support from climbing, twining, or creeping along a surface. Move in a pattern, usually to musical accompaniment. Do or perform a dance. My husband and I like to dance at home to the radio. Taking a series of rhythmical steps and movements in time to music. An artistic form of nonverbal communication. A party for social dancing. A party of people assembled for dancing. Move in a graceful and rhythmical way. The young girl danced into the room. Skip, leap, or move up and down or sideways. The children danced with joy. Be the culminating event. The first half of an inning, while the visiting team is at bat. A relief pitcher took over in the top of the fifth. Pass by, over, or under without making contact. The balloon cleared the treetops. A canvas tent to house the audience at a circus performance. They had the big top up in less than an hour. A conical child's plaything tapering to a steel point on which it can be made to spin. He got a bright red top and string for his birthday. Be superior or better than some standard. She topped her performance of last year. Cut the top off. Top trees and bushes. Provide with a top or finish the top of a structure. The towers were topped with conical roofs. The highest or uppermost side of anything. Put your books on top of the desk. Be ahead of others. Be the first. She topped her class every year. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. He removed the top of the carton. The top or extreme point of something, usually a mountain or hill. Finish up or conclude. They topped off their dinner with a cognac. The highest level or degree attainable. The highest stage of development. At the top of his profession. A garment, especially for women, that extends from the shoulders to the waist or hips. He stared as she buttoned her top. Be at the top of or constitute the top or highest point. A star tops the Christmas tree. Platform surrounding the head of a lower mast. Reach or ascend the top of. The hikers topped the mountain just before noon. Situated at the top or highest position. The top shelf. Strike, the top part of a ball in golf, baseball, or pool, giving it a forward spin. The greatest possible intensity. He screamed at the top of his lungs. The upper part of anything. The mower cuts off the tops of the grass. Become clear. The sky cleared after the storm. Accurately stated or described. Free of restrictions or qualifications. A clear winner. Make free from confusion or ambiguity. Make clear. Pass by, over, or under without making contact. The balloon cleared the treetops. Grant authorization or clearance for. Affording free passage or view. A clear view. Yield as a net profit. Make as a net profit. The company cleared $1 million. A clear or unobstructed space or expanse of land or water. Easily deciphered. Earn on some commercial or business transaction. Earn as salary or wages. He clears $5,000 each month. Settle, as of a debt. Clear a debt. Go unchallenged. Be approved. The bill cleared the House. Especially of a title, free from any encumbrance or limitation that presents a question of fact or law. I have clear title to this property. Pronounce not guilty of criminal charges. The suspect was cleared of the murder charges. Freed from any question of guilt. Was now clear of the charge of cowardice. In an easily perceptible manner. Could be seen clearly under the microscope. Characterized by ease and quickness in perceiving. Clear mind. Of sound or color, free from anything that dulls or dims. Clear laughter like a waterfall. Clear and distinct to the senses, easily perceptible. As clear as a whistle. Free, the throat, by making a rasping sound. Rid of obstructions. Completely. Read the book clear to the end. Allowing light to pass through. Clear water. characterized by freedom from troubling thoughts, especially guilt. A clear conscience. Clear from impurities, blemishes, pollution, etc. Clear the water before it can be drunk. Clear of charges or deductions. A clear profit. Free from clouds or mist or haze. On a clear day. Free from confusion or doubt. A complex problem requiring a clear head. Free from contact or proximity or connection. We were clear of the danger. Free from flaw or blemish or impurity. A clear perfect diamond. Free from payment of customs duties, as of a shipment. Go away or disappear. The fog cleared in the afternoon. Make a way or path by removing objects. Make clear, bright, light, or translucent. The water had to be cleared through filtering. Pass an inspection or receive authorization. Clear customs. Readily apparent to the mind. A clear and present danger. Remove. Clear the leaves from the lawn. Remove people from a building. Clear the patrons from the theater after the bomb threat. Remove the occupants of. Rid of instructions or data. Clear a memory buffer. Sell. We cleared a lot of the old model cars. The state of being free of suspicion. Investigation showed that he was in the clear. Be debited and credited to the proper bank accounts. The check will clear within 2 business days. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. The act of jumping, propelling yourself off the ground. The jumping was unexpected. The act of participating in an athletic competition in which you must jump. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. Travel across or pass over. Become clear or enter one's consciousness or emotions. Travel across or pass over. Communicate successfully. I couldn't get across the message. Get on top of. Deal with successfully. Travel across or pass over. Improve in health. To bring, a necessary but unpleasant task, to an end. Taking a zigzag path on skis. To cover or extend over an area or time period. Rivers traverse the valley floor. A horizontal beam that extends across something. Travel across or pass over. Deny formally, an allegation of fact by the opposing party, in a legal suit. A horizontal crosspiece across a window or separating a door from a window over it. Travel across. Any road or path affording passage, especially a rough one. Computer science. One of the circular magnetic paths on a magnetic disk that serve as a guide for writing and reading data. Travel across or pass over. Go after with the intent to catch. The act of participating in an athletic competition involving running on a track. An endless metal belt on which tracked vehicles move over the ground. A course over which races are run. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. A distinct selection of music from a recording or a compact disc. The title track of the album. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The track of an animal. A bar or pair of parallel bars of rolled steel making the railway along which railroad cars or other vehicles can roll. A groove on a phonograph recording. A pair of parallel rails providing a runway for wheels. Carry on the feet and deposit. Track mud into the house. Make tracks upon. Observe or plot the moving path of something. Track a missile. A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. They made a cover of a Beatles song. Form a cover over. The grass covered the grave. Clothe, as if for protection from the elements. Cover your head. A fixed charge by a restaurant or nightclub over and above the charge for food and drink. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The cover concealed their guns from enemy aircraft. Travel across or pass over. The caravan covered almost 100 miles each day. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The period covered the turn of the century. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. Under cover of darkness. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. This should cover everyone in the group. Fire that makes it difficult for the enemy to fire on your own individuals or formations. Artillery provided covering fire for the withdrawal. Put something on top of something else. Cover the meat with a lot of gravy. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. Make up for shortcomings or a feeling of inferiority by exaggerating good qualities. Bedding that keeps a person warm in bed. He pulled the covers over his head and went to sleep. Hide from view or knowledge. The president covered the fact that he bugged the offices in the White House. Be responsible for reporting the details of, as in journalism. The cub reporter covered New York City. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. Put the cover back on the kettle. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. The course covered all of Western civilization. Sit on, eggs. The female covers the eggs. Protect by insurance. The insurance won't cover this. Cover as if with a shroud. Copulate with a female, used especially of horses. The horse covers the mare. A false identity and background, especially one created for an undercover agent. Her new name and passport or cover for her next assignment. Be responsible for guarding an opponent in a game. Be sufficient to meet, defray, or offset the charge or cost of. Is this enough to cover the check? Help out by taking someone's place and temporarily assuming his responsibilities. She is covering for our secretary who is ill this week. Hold within range of an aimed firearm. Invest with a large or excessive amount of something. She covered herself with glory. Maintain a check on, especially by patrolling. The second officer covered the top floor. Play a higher card than the one previously played. Smith covered again. Protect or defend, a position in a game. He covered left field. Provide for. The grant doesn't cover my salary. Provide with a covering or cause to be covered. Cover her face with a handkerchief. Spread over a surface to conceal or protect. This paint covers well. To take an action to protect against future problems. Count the cash in the drawer twice just to cover yourself. Meet at a point. To cover or extend over an area or time period. Extending or lying across, in a crosswise direction, at right angles to the long axis. Cross members should be all steel. Travel across or pass over. Annoyed and irritable. Any affliction that causes great suffering. That is his cross to bear. A marking that consists of lines that cross each other. Genetics. The act of mixing different species or varieties of animals or plants and thus to produce hybrids. Hinder or prevent, the efforts, plans, or desires, of. Genetics. An organism that is the offspring of genetically dissimilar parents or stock. Especially offspring produced by breeding plants or animals of different varieties or breeds or species. A mule is a cross between a horse and a donkey. Breed animals or plants using parents of different races and varieties. Cross a horse and a donkey. A representation of the structure on which Jesus was crucified, used as an emblem of Christianity or in heraldry. A wooden structure consisting of an upright post with a transverse piece. Fold so as to resemble a cross. She crossed her legs. Meet and pass. The trains crossed. Trace a line through or across. Cross your T. Travel across or pass over. Cut using a diagonal line. Be contrary to ordinary procedure or limitations. Opinions on bombing the Serbs cut across party lines. Rub with a circular motion. Travel across or pass over. Bypass. Make a passage or journey from one place to another. Fly over. Native American plant sometimes confused with the European hop. Ornamental vine native to Eastern Asia, cultivated for its variegated foliage. Native American plant sometimes confused with the European hop. European twining plant whose flowers are used chiefly to flavor malt liquors, cultivated in America. Ornamental vine native to Eastern Asia, cultivated for its variegated foliage.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.